All right. Hello there. Welcome to all of my tea sippers out there, honey. You know what time it is. It's another glorious Wednesday. So grab all of your crumpets, baby, because it's time to dish tea, and you are dishing tea with Big Meat. Hey, babies. Thank you all for your love and your support. If you're tuning in right now, honey, I want to thank you. Today's show is called Yeah, I'm a Badass. No retreat, no surrender. You'll understand that in just a few moments. So if you want to come in on the conversation, the telephone number is 347-205-9183. Once again, 347-205-9183. Now, the chat room, or the tea room, rather, is open. So if you want to go on over there to the tea room, you're more than welcome to. I just ask that you dish tea responsibly, darling. It's okay to disagree, but please don't be disagreeable. I don't want you cussing at the computers and things and getting ready to, tear it up or whatever because you disagree with someone. It's okay. Just dish tea responsibly over there, all right? Now, here is my disclaimer for the show. Now, y'all know I have a potty mouth. I make no excuses for it, however, just so that you understand. This show is for mature audiences only, and the language and subject matters are not appropriate for children or anyone who is not mature enough to handle the subject matters. So your listening discretion is advised, okay? Your listening discretion is advised. Now we're going to do a couple of shout-outs to my sponsors. Thank you goes out to those who love and support Dishing Tea. First off, Trade Day Management and PR firm. At Trade Day, enjoy a touch of Southern hospitality with a universal appeal. For all of your public relations and entertainment management needs, contact Travion Davenport at 678-523-3088, or you can email her at tradedaypr@gmail.com. Trade Day, TREADAYPR@gmail.com. Thank you, Trade Day. Also, we want to say thank you to Kerberos Treasure Box. Fine art, unique jewelry, and sensational 3D silk floral arrangements, creations by Taps. For all of your decorative needs, contact Kerberos Treasure Box at 248-688-5178 or 5179, or you can email them at Kerberos Treasure Box at Comcast.net. Once again, email them at Kerberos Treasure Box at Comcast.net. Thank you, Pharaoh. Also, Parisian Wine Productions, music to lighten your souls and lift your spirits. Specializing in gospel and inspirational house music, productions can be picked up by Mr. Paris Hairston. He is the CEO of the company. You can contact him at Paris42268@yahoo.com. Once again, Paris42268@yahoo.com. Also, thanks goes out to C-Train Productions. You're on board the right train for all of your entertainment needs with C-Train Productions. Omar Casterly is the CEO and founder. For all of your casting, producing, and production needs, contact Omar at www.ctrainproductions.com. Once again, www.ctrainproductions.com. And also, we want to say thank you to Life Fellowship of Christ Ministries. Life, L-I-F-E. Live in freedom everywhere. Reverend James Coleman is the leader and founder of this ecumenical social justice ministry brought forth to free the oppressed and introducing a fresh approach to the Christ consciousness. Contact Reverend Coleman at mustardcole@yahoo.com. Once again, mustardcole@yahoo.com. Services are held every other Sunday, at the Woodbridge Estates Clubhouse at 4106 Supremes Drive, Detroit, Michigan, 48201. Services start at 12 noon. You can contact 313-833-9278 for more information. Once again, 313-833-9278. Okay? Thank you to all of my sponsors, and we want to make sure that things are abreast. I want you to save the date. June 4th, I believe it is. That's that first Saturday in June. I want you to mark that off because I, Big Meech, will be in Detroit, and we're going to celebrate the Five Mo Artists 2010 show. Yes, honey, Pharaoh's Treasure Box is putting on their yearly extravaganza of jazz and theater and art. Okay, I'm going to be there, and this year, the charity that will be the recipient of part of the proceeds is Uplifting Communities. And that's a local charity out of Detroit, and it is based out of one of the local churches there, and their social justice portion of the church and their outreach consists of the We Care program, where they go out visiting nurses and convalescent homes and senior citizen buildings, and just spending time with the seniors. We have Grandma's Hands, which is a daycare facility to accept daycare allotments for social services and things, and clients who don't readily have the funds to pay a regular daycare center. They also have the Phoenix A New Horizons, which is an emergency building to house burnout persons and register with the Red Cross and other agencies. And also they offer free foreclosure prevention, pre-purchase and first-time home buyers programs, credit repair and counseling, lowering your interest rates on your mortgages, debt management counseling. They have a food bank, and many other programs that they are embarking upon, including a mentoring and tutoring programs. And all of the counselors are HUD or HUD certified. So this is what the community is doing to where they can empower the people there in the city of Detroit and its surrounding area. So Uplifting Ministries will be the charitable organization that Five More Artists 2010 will be sponsoring this year. Part of your proceeds, any purchase that you make, part of the proceeds will be going to that organization. So save the date because we will be there, okay? Thank you so much. All right, now that we have all of our public service announcements out of the way, at least for the moment, I'm very thrilled right now because I'm going to bring to you someone, honey, who has really titillated my taste buds a bit, okay? And I'm going to explain that. See, when I got the call, I got the casting call for, to have a cameo appearance in this upcoming film that we're going to talk about. And when I got there on set, I was a bit intimidated always because I don't know what I'm walking in on. But this particular cat here, the writer and director of the soon-to-be-released film, Kerberos, was there. And I loved how he handled himself. But more importantly, I get the title from him because he's a badass. This is a kick-ass fool right here, okay? And this particular scene that we did was a fight scene. And watching him work and watching him go through this, that, and the other was phenomenally amazing to me. And I met some wonderful professional wrestlers and carrying on the set, and I just had a real good time. So now that he's embarking on bringing the movie to your enjoyment, and so that you can understand what he's about, I said, well, listen, let me bring you on so that folks will know what you're about, understand who you are, and understand what the movie is, and then we're going to talk about the struggle that he had to bring it to life. So with all of that said, I want you to welcome to the show. This is Mr. Kely McClung, writer, producer, director, and star of the hit movie Kerberos. Hey, Kely, what's going on?
Hey, man, you're good at this.
Oh, well, thank you.
I can just sit back and keep hearing you listen. Go, man. I was like, man, this is awesome.
Oh, well, thank you.
Great.
Oh, my goodness. I had a ball on the set. Now, I was there for one day of shooting, right. And I'm kind of glad because now, see, Kely didn't know this when I got there because, I'm 6'4", and I'm over 400 pounds, so my size, says a lot. But as long as I'm quiet, I'm good, because y'all know how I am, honey, when I talk with my hands. And so Kely didn't know that I was gay. So I'm there, and I'm sweating bullets because everything around me, I like big old boys anyway. Everything around me is just big and beautiful and fighting and shit. And I'm there. I'm like, oh, my God. And Okay, and I'm trying to do something with this energy, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to come out of a bag because everybody fight, and I work security, but I just bought, I'm a street fighter. These are professionally trained. I'd have got my ass whooped had I said anything out of the way. So of course I got that. It was a really interesting shoot that day. But we got through it. We got through it with no problems. We got through it with no problems. And I just have to say thank you for the opportunity for bringing me in on such a fabulous project, because I've seen the trailers and everything, and I just have to come to you. First off, let's talk about the title, because, I've seen it spelled differently. I've heard it pronounced differently. Tell us the title. What does it mean?
The title is Kerberos. And it's
Kerberos.
Kerberos is the three-headed dog from Greek mythology. So eventually that went from Greece to Rome, and then it was anglicized, and so people see it as a C, which is Cerberus. And but it's a three-headed dog that guards the gates of Hades, or we'll call that hell. But so it's about three major characters, and they're all badasses in their own way. But it's kind of the idea was to present three different versions of a tough guy and pit them against each other. So there's a young girl who's the catalyst, but the main story is these three guys. They're all in too deep. Nobody's an innocent in the whole movie. And by the end, the girl, she goes through her trials, and she's, in some ways you would say she's corrupted as well. But no, I appreciated you coming out that day. It was awesome. I think Big Haji probably found you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was really interesting is, that was a prison scene. So it was actually
yes, Lord.
So, not a fun scene to be doing for us. We had some fight stuff, and then we actually had a rape scene, and so not fun. But what was really interesting, and you probably don't know this, was that, I had to kind of beg the manager of the apartments here, the telephone factory, and get that basement. And she was like, well, how many people are you going to have? Like, just 4 or 5, So, I've made really good friends. They're so embracing. The city of Rome, Georgia, I filmed a couple scenes up there, and when I was returning some uniforms and things up there, they were like, well, what else do you need? And I was like, well, I got this prison scene. And they're like, well, and I was like, I'd be cool to have real prison uniforms. And, it's just a white shirt and pants.
Right.
But, man, they were really strict on the security of those things. I mean, more than the police uniforms. I couldn't believe it. But those were real uniforms. So what happened is, that crowd probably looked pretty much like that was like from Central Casting, So,
exactly. Okay.
So I heard later on people from across the street and people in my building, nobody had an idea of what was going on. And I heard there were somebody contacted me later on, and they said, man, we had no idea. We were looking for the wardens and thought, wow, these guys are on the loose. They were like, wow. We were really seriously concerned. And then eventually it seemed like everybody was just getting along pretty well outside. Remember we had bagels and donuts and crap. And,
right.
They're like, so it didn't look too vicious, but at first it scared the hell out of us.
Well, you have to imagine.
That's good then.
Exactly, because see, number one, the uniforms were authentic. Number two, if now people, you have to understand this. Now, the call was for, this was a prison scene, so all of us are coming. There's, people my size, if not matching me, maybe a little bigger. And maybe not weight-wise, but they look bigger than me because they were muscular. Okay.
Yeah, we had I used to teach a guy who was or work with. I didn't really teach him anything, but I got to work with a pro wrestler for a few years, and we got in the business about the same time. And he performed under Glacier was his name. And he was a top guy. If you look up WCW and look up Glacier, he was huge. He was
right.
He was on top. So he introduced me to a couple other. He's my go-to guy. So I was like, Ray, I need a couple tough guys because, as you know, and that whole scene was done really fast. I don't have time to really rehearse or choreograph. I need guys that can, hey, wow, you get smacked upside the head, you're going to survive it. And I'm very, very careful not to hurt anybody, but you know, it's physical. So
it's right. We know the game. If you're in it, you're gonna get hit. You can't get upset. You're gonna get hit. Yeah.
I mean, I was like, I always felt like I was crippled for like a week, and I called both my wrestlers that I was fighting with, and fortunately, they told me, they said it was like the toughest thing they've ever been through. They were crippled too, so I felt good about that. You know, I wouldn't want to think I'm the only one. You know, so
exactly. Now, you know, in putting all of that together, let's talk about that because, you know, I got some of the backstory there on the set of what it takes to put a film together.
Wow.
That particular scene took us, and it was quick. Now, you know, we were there for a little over half of a day, but most of that was in the setup and making sure folks got there on time and this, that, and that. But once we got to shooting, and you're on one camera. This is not like some 3 and 4 camera shot. You on one camera.
Yeah. It's
so
amazing for
talk
me
about that.
It's also funny for, you know, even though I'm in the scene, it wraps around myself and another character. So even though I'm in that scene, I'm actually on camera half the time, which always makes me laugh when I look back and edit. But you know, I have a good eye, and one of my ingredients or one of my formulas for making something look rich, people are always like, wow, your stuff always looks so expensive. And I'm like, you know, the magic ingredients are dust, rust, and dirt. And, you know, when you have a lot of money and you have lights and you have big crews, you can film glass and chrome and, you know, gorgeous sets. But, they have to be really done well. And,
right.
And this stuff, it has an authenticity. I mean, the demographics of that crowd were probably pretty realistic. The guys were the right age. I mean, there's some tough guys, there's some skinny guys, but you know, white and black, and it just, you know, it felt real. And you know, you had some. I mean, it took me like a week to get clean. I mean, that was the nastiest basement ever. But I wouldn't have changed the thing. You know, I had people ask me, "Hey, you want to clean it up before you go down there?" I'm like, "Hell no." I mean, that's half of it right there, you know.
Oh, my God. When we got there, you know, I kept saying this. I was like, where in the fuck did you find this place? Because this was perfect. As I'm a stage director.
What's amazing is even more is that I wrote the script, obviously, long before we started filming. And, you know, the script said a prison boiler room. It was just something in my mind I always had to see that steam and
yes.
And that scene, it's beautiful. I mean, it's nasty and dirty, but honestly, the color, the authenticity, the richness of the set, the people. I mean, it's actually beautiful. It's but again, just wow. You know, luck comes to the doing. You know, people sit around and hey, well, how'd you get lucky or whatever, and it's because you're out doing stuff. You know, and so luck comes. I mean. You know, 1,000 things fall through, but 10,000 things fall in your lap, and it's the same way when you're making a film like this. So, you know, are there things I wish I could do more or change? I mean, sure, thousands of them, but other things show up like this, and it's like I didn't know about this. I didn't live here in this building. I live in the building. My office is here. I didn't live here when I wrote the scene. I mean,
right.
You know, I wrote this movie a year before. And then go down in the basement. I'm like, holy shit, here's 2 giant, like 60 or 70-year-old enameled boilers and pipes, and this is awesome. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere and find a set better than that.
Wow. That was
you know, the people was like, I mean,
incredible.
Haji came through. You know, he man, he's my extras casting guy, and he's got credit for it. He just comes through time after time, and man, my hat's off to him, you know. So.
Oh, well, all right. Hodge, Mr. Haji Abdul. That's my road dog now. Now, you know, let's go into your background a little bit, because we hear that you've written this movie, Kerberos. Okay, I'm gonna be practicing that Kerberos.
I started a long time ago. Man, I've been around so long, so I'm gonna date myself, but that's all. That's all fine. You know, I was there's a million martial arts, but I was a world champion in a type of martial art, and that introduced me to a lot of people. And originally, I was brought out to possibly replace Van Damme, and the people who found me, you know, they weren't in charge of the project, so the people in charge of that project were kind of on the fence. And by that time, they were able to renegotiate all Van Damme's contracts. That's when he was kind of making his jump from, hey, he had done a couple little movies to, they were so successful, he was like, hey, let's redo my contracts. And they basically just said, you know, screw you, we'll find the next guy. And they came up with me. But I was really, really lucky. I got to go to Africa and do American Ninja 4. And not a you know, great production or anything like that, but on some levels, but on other levels, unbelievable. I mean, this is 89, so this is before, this is at the very, very tail end of apartheid.
Of apartheid, and oh, God, yeah.
So, I mean, we're going back that long ago, but what was great is there were two other stars, you know, Michael Dudikoff, who was a huge international star for a long time, and my friend David Bradley, who had stepped in his shoes. And, you know, I guess they had so much stuff going on. I was like the American. I was a nice kid, you know, whatever. So I was like, man, you know, let me look through camera. And you would never, your first time movie, get to be on a movie and say, as the actor, hey, let me look in the camera. Let me put on the headphones. Let me come to the editing room. And they were like, man, you're cool. Sure, whatever you want to do, you know. And so I learned a lot. I mean, it took about 5 minutes to go, wow, the script is really bad, but
okay.
But, you know, but I mean, I never pretended it wasn't. And yet, even there, the guy who wrote it and was one of the stars, you know, later on, I mean, I just thought he was the worst. And then later on, I realized what he was trying to do, which was really tongue-in-cheek and really sophisticated. It's just ultimately the people on the set, they didn't seem like they were in on the joke, so it just wasn't working, you know. So
wow.
But I learned a lot, you know. And
okay, that's the important part.
And was determined. I mean, even before I left that film, I mean, I was there for a long time, almost a year. You know, I'd already written my first screenplay, and so start to finish, good or bad, I've written, I think, 23 screenplays now.
Oh wow.
So you know, I mean, I study the craft. I'm not trying to make action movies. Even this movie, Kerberos, is not, in my estimation, an action movie. It's a movie that has some action in it.
Okay, now see, you're going where I'm going. Because do you find yourself as a storyteller, or do you find the need to want to exercise your fighting skills when you're writing and doing screenplays and movies and things? Because, you know, that male ego, now I have to say, I'm born male, but I don't necessarily, you know, I don't necessarily subscribe to all of that male ego-ness. Now, I do have one. But, you know, all of that testosterone-driven shit, you know, do you find yourself just wanting to tell a story, or wanting to, damn, it's got to be, you know, some fighting and some blood and shit, you know, simply because you're a man? Or is it demographic? You know, I know this ain't going to be the chick flick or whatever.
Well, you know, hopefully it is a chick flick, because I think when girls, you know, actually are drug in, most likely, that they end up having to sit and watch it, I think they'll realize that it's a very character-driven story. The violence for me in this movie, I'm not trying to be a fight guy or an action guy in any way, but it's as an example. The scene that we were doing downstairs was a prison rape.
Right.
There are so many times I won't even watch a movie that's a prison movie, because I know they're going to get to that scene somewhere, and I'm like, I just don't care about it. I don't want to watch it. I don't care, you know. And but the reality of this movie was I had a character who is a good friend of mine, and ultimately, you know, because he is my friend, he gets put through hell. Everybody in this movie who is associated with me either gets dead or literally put through hell. And for his character, what happens is he is so loyal to me and going through so much bullshit and being tortured and beat up and everything else. And I was like, what circumstance would force that guy to feel such loyalty to me that he would rather die or just be ripped to shreds or beat up or whatever? I mean, what would justify that? And then not only that, he's not the main character. So how do I justify that in just a minute or two so that the audience gets it and says, well, you know what, that's believable. So have this circumstance where he was in prison, and I more or less saved him. I mean, he wishes I had come about 30 seconds sooner. You know, he's like, hey.
Right, okay.
He showed up a minute sooner. Come on, man. You're upstairs thinking about it. And at that stage, he's not my friend. He's just somebody, and the character's trying to do what he thinks is the right thing. And but when you see it, then instantly, when you see the following scenes, there's no, equivocation. You understand 100% why this guy would take this abuse and feel such loyalty to my character in the film.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, for me, violence, extreme situations allow you to have, in a story anyway, they allow you to have like extreme emotion and extreme heroics. And, that can be on a more mundane story, but, I'm trying to tell a simpler story. I wouldn't say mundane, but, a simpler story or not so vicious and violent, of course. My movie's pretty, like I said, I don't even consider it an action movie, but there's, some people get punched and hit, and a lot of people get shot, and people are cursing up a storm. I don't know if we're setting the world record, but we're coming real close. So, Pulp Fiction has like 100 and I looked it up at one time, and I know my figures will be off, but I think Pulp Fiction has something like 120 like fuck yous in it somewhere, some variation. I have one 3-minute scene that has 54, so I'm pretty sure we're gonna beat that record.
Well, hell, I know I said it like a million times in the damn.
Oh, you can hear
in the little scene.
Oh yeah, you can hear everybody. Man, I'm not even counting all those down there, man. That's just like a chorus of rough language. But the movie is about people, conquering or trying to find some humanity within all this this world. I mean, that's what the movie's about. And this character, Finn, I mean, the movie is very, very detailed, to tell you the truth. I mean, even my character, Finn was a famous, like a Paul Bunyan, Robin Hood kind of character from Irish mythology.
Right, right.
So, there's little things that inform my character and my actions that I took from the mythology of that character. How he acts and how he stands, and he bites his thumb to access knowledge. And in my story, he has this phenomenal, photographic memory and all this stuff going on. And all that stuff is rooted in, tradition and mythology. And, so, I mean, that's just one level. But, I mean, my main bad guy is Lester Armstrong. So,
okay.
His name, Les Armstrong. He has
right.
a bunch of people helping him out. So, because he's Les Armstrong. And he's the bad guy who uses his charm and his intelligence and just has, mostly his charm to get through on life.
Mm-hmm.
My other character, bad guy, is Tony Minacci. So Tony Menace, if you spell it out. Tony Menace.
Exactly. Okay.
So,
okay.
And he's like the bully. He's that tough guy who is so afraid somebody will call him on it, he's just going to push his way and shoot his way and curse and yell, and like the little terrier dog, everybody backs off. And my character, Mike Finn, he's the guy who's actually so tough that he's really trying really, really hard all through the story not to be.
Not to be, yeah, he's holding back.
There's times in the movie where people are going, I thought you were going to quit all that stuff, and you don't do that anymore, though, right? And yeah, we heard you gave all that up, and like the born again thing without the religion, and
right.
he has that as his character, you know. So here's these three variations of a tough guy: a guy who's genuinely tough, a guy who's tough by using charm and intelligence, and a guy who's tough by just, you know, bullying his way, you know, bulldozing his way right through everything. So, and then this little innocent girl that's caught up in the whole thing.
Now, here's the interesting question.
Okay.
How close are Kely and Finn?
Well, let me see. I've never been a bank robber. I've never been to prison. I have beat the shit out of a lot of people. I can still jump and kick and, you know, do all that. I was a world champion. I've spent my whole life doing it. And, and you know, you write a story. I mean, you hope to be that heroic and noble, but you know, I'm not trying to pretend I am. I have been involved in. I've been involved in a bank robbery. I've been involved in some other things, but
oh, mercy.
But I wasn't the guy doing it. I was the guy that the police later on were like, "What the hell were you thinking, son? You're supposed to sit there and just."
Right.
I can't do that. I gotta save the day, you know, and it's not being heroic. It's you know, it's like somebody goes, "Wow, you got such nice blue eyes," or whatever they say, you know. And it's like,
right.
That's nothing to do with me. That's just the way it is. It wasn't something I thought about and said, "Hey, let me save this person. Hey, let me do this." It's like none of that. It's just, you know,
it's impulsive, yeah.
It's impulsive and probably stupid and
yeah, all of it, because
bite me in the ass someday. But for now, you know, that's who I am. So.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Now, here's the dichotomy, because though Kerberos is not considered to be an action film in your eyes. It's just a film. It's a story outlining three different types of a bad guy,
right.
or a badass, you know, and tells their stories from three different perspectives of the bad guy that each of us know. Okay.
Right.
Now, your very first film, Blood Ties, won you the Action Film of the Year award at the Film International Film Festival?
Well, there's a festival that's really growing very, very fast out in Los Angeles, right outside, called the Action on Film International Film Fest.
Okay.
And you know, I think this is now their 6th year or something like that, and so that was the first festival I'd ever been in, and my little movie Blood Ties with my buddy Rob Praga, we made it. He's the guy who plays Lester Armstrong in this movie. You know, we didn't really have any money or anything else, but he thought I was nuts, and everybody thought he was nuts to listen to me. But we jumped on a plane with just a little camera and just the two of us basically, and we went to Thailand. I filmed in Thailand, Cambodia, Washington, D.C., Miami, Virginia, and Atlanta, and all, I mean, literally on just about nothing. And, I mean, we had, I can remember days we had arguments over, you know, a bottle of water that cost 20 cents over there. I mean,
hot damn.
The money was that tight. And,
yeah.
But ultimately, that was my first festival, and we were nominated for about 3 or 4 different awards, and we ended up winning, you know, Film of the Year, which was great, and I had no clue. I mean, I got there, and it's like, I mean, I met the director of the festival, Del Weston, and really nice guy, and people were nice, and but, I mean, man, these guys are good actors, because I had no clue that we were in the running, much less, you know, going to win it, and wow, it was pretty cool, because the movies I'm against are quote-unquote action movies predominantly. Mostly, you know, and some of those movies were, you know, $7 and $8 million, you know, and
wow, okay.
These guys would spend more than that on a first-class plane ticket to Thailand, and I made a whole film, and you know, so we beat it.
Damn.
And that was cool.
Okay, right.
So I was invited to another festival called the Indie Fest USA, which screens at Disney, downtown Disney. These guys again are, you know, it's a newer festival, 3-4 years, and I remember seeing a movie I thought was amazing. It was a young black filmmaker named, great name, Blue Fox. That's his real name. And he directed a movie called The Gift A.D. And I remember watching that movie and just going, do they know I'm in this festival? I mean, that looks amazing. I mean, that's unbelievable. You know, it was this
Okay, right.
a very moving story about, you know, a guy who had AIDS, and it was just such an amazing movie for me. And I was like, God, do they know I'm here? I mean, and then we won that festival too. You know, we won 2 or 3 awards there, and I won Best of Festival, which is their big award. And then I went to Philadelphia and won another one, and I made a little short film that you don't even know about. So I made a little short film called AM Session, and that was actually nominated for the best film at the American Black Film Festival. And we screened at the Writers Guild, sold out. I made it with a couple of local people here in town. And, you know, we did really, really well. Sold it to HBO, and that was cool, you know. So then I went to Puerto Rico, we won. I went to England and won. I won, you know, a few other festivals.
Oh, well, hell, you are burning up the scene, player. Just burning them up.
Well, nobody knows me yet, so, you know, you're it.
Well, they will. And you know what they do, because when I say American Ninja, and American Ninja 4, you know, folks end up biting. Everybody that I've told. In fact, my cousin's boyfriend just told me to tell you, I'm into martial arts, so tell him if he needs a black martial artist, let me know. I said, he just told me that today. I was just before getting ready for the show. I said, well, all right, I'll let you know when we have postings for this,
so
that, and the other
one. I think I actually played, you know, you're a ninja. You can run around with a mask on half the time. And
right.
I was the main bad guy, so I get the big elaborate costume, and you'll love that costume, I'm sure. And I think I played 18 people in the movie, you know, so it's like plus the main bad guy, plus double Michael, plus double David, and it was just, you know, so that was a huge education, you know. I mean, and it was such a great time to be in South Africa and to watch the changes going on, and I mean, I was just embraced by every possible peoples and culture there. It was just amazing, you know. So what an education, you know.
Now let me ask you this: how difficult is it to direct and yet choreograph fight scenes?
Wow. And to
you know, because I know when we were there, that there it got intense, and you know, with that kind of intense and emotion, and everybody wants the realism and the believability of it. You know, it's hard to let that shit go when adrenaline gets to pumping. And then we all men, and you know how men folk. You know, how difficult is that?
I guess it's tough. I mean, you know, maybe I'm part psychotic or something, you know, because I have the ability to really be really, really focused. I mean, I think when you see the movie, and I think everybody will, so everybody's thinking, you know, wow, he's the action guy, he beats the shit out of a bunch of people and has some other people in there. But, you know, I had to really, really deliberate and consider, you know, even being in the movie. Because it's a huge acting role. It's not a fight role, it's an acting role. But obviously the guy can fight. And
right.
I could have faked that for somebody else. But I have the ability to really hit some genuine emotion, you know. But to do that at the same time that I'm guiding the scene and on camera and worried about the technical details, and to really genuinely be into my scene, as deep as I have to be, you know, that's why I say maybe part of my brain is fractured or something. You know, I don't know exactly how I do it either, but and I'm so afraid to even question it sometimes because I'm like, maybe I'll screw it up. You know, I don't want to do
right.
it. Let me just move along. You know, so you know, it's not easy necessarily, and it's, you know, imagine if I was doing but imagine if I was doing like a sex scene or a love scene. And it's not really a hardcore sex scene, but, you know, I'm not doing porn. But, you know, we do some pretty, you know, film-wise these days, people do some pretty good stuff. And but imagine if you were in that situation and you're having to tell your actress, okay, I need you to do this, I want you to do this. And they're like, kind of hard for them to separate the fact that you're the director and the actor. So they're okay. He wants me to do this because, you know. I was like, no. I mean,
okay, right.
It serves the story. It's not me as the actor. It's me as a storyteller. And I'm on. Wow. I mean, people who know me at all and people who've worked with me, I mean, they know I'm on every little detail, from the color of the blood to I'm doing the makeup. You saw it. I was doing the makeup there, you know, and in the middle of the scene.
Right. I know. Oh, you are brilliant with that. I took pictures of that. I said, damn. Damn. I said, if I had not watched you put this on, I would have sworn y'all just got through fighting.
Well, you know what was amazing is, to get the right color of blood and stuff. It took me a long time to figure out the formulas. And so funny for me. My girlfriend was a nurse. And then she came back to me. She was actually like pissed off because she's like this genius type, and she was like, "It's so stupid. You knew you were going to be doing this movie. You knew you needed blood. We should have been taking vials of your blood every day for like a month, so you had a gallon in the refrigerator." And I'm like, "What? You are crazy." And then at the end of it, I'm like, "Yeah, but that would have been pretty cool."
Listen at you.
Wow. So. Anyway, it's a lot of movie, and people are going to be surprised at how deep the story is, and how good the acting is. You know,
yes, because oh my God, looking at the trailer itself. Tell everybody where to go catch the trailer.
That's meant to be the Rambo crowd trailer, you know? I mean,
I know, but at the same time, it's enough in there, though. It's enough in there because it's drama. One good thing about action films is that you have to have the drama to go with it. Otherwise, hell.
Otherwise, it's just, I mean, nobody cares about a great shot of a really shitty actor. Who cares?
Right.
Right. Or wow, that was a great action scene with a really shitty story. I mean, nobody cares. I mean, for me, it's story, then comes the acting, then somewhere down the list comes the cinematography and the editing and the directing, and it's about can we care about these people, and do we believe that if this guy is smiling, it's a real smile. If we believe when he's pissed off, is he really pissed off? If he's dying, is he really dying? And if he saves him, is he really saving him? And that's what we get into with the story.
Exactly.
But the trailer is just up on, all my links. It's, people try to figure out how to spell Kerberos and all the other stuff. And, the website is Kerberos Bites because it's a three-headed dog that bites, So, but, all my stuff, Meech, can be found really easy. All my links right there, very simple. There's a web page called Fuxum, Fuczm, Fuxum. And if they go there, there's a big icon in the middle of the page that says YouTube. And if you click on that, you're going to see the trailer. That just makes it easy. It's just a word that makes me laugh. People are like, "Oh my God, what did you say?" And I'm like, it's just a bullshit word, like, I don't know. The word makes me laugh. Fuxum. People are like, "What is that?" I go, "I don't know." I mean, I took the web page. I've had that name for about 8 years and never did anything with it. I put a web page up, had no links, no information, nothing in the source. It only had the word Fuxum, and I just wanted to see, like, for 3 years, would anybody ever stumble across this and go, "What the hell does that mean?" And then now I put my links on it because it's easy.
It's easy. Okay, Fuczm. Zebra.com. All right. I'm putting that in the chat room so folks can find out.
So everything is Twitter and Facebook and the movie and blogs, everything. But there's like 5 icons, and click on them, and there you are. And the trailer, people are loving it. There's some other clips up there too. But, the trailer, I posted on a bunch of sites, and it's really interesting. Somebody will jump on, "Oh, I hate that trailer." Next person, "Oh, that's the best one I've ever seen in my life." And so, I take them both to heart. I listen to everybody, but I'm an artist. And
right.
It's not just ego. I mean, art is about being, genuine to what you think is right.
Exactly, and then the message hits everybody differently, So it's all interpretation. So if you listen to everyone else's interpretation, it helps to shape it helps to shape.
There was a movie years and years ago. Actually, Bruce Lee wrote that movie, but there's a line in there, and it's he wasn't in it, but there's a line in there, and it always just struck me. And that line is, you can't even, to the point of like you can't even be true to yourself. So how can you possibly be true to somebody else? So just you live your life. You try to be true to yourself, and if other people embrace it or like it or identify with it, fantastic. That's awesome, and that's the dream that somebody pats you on the back and says, "Wow, that was great." But at this stage, it's like, man, you can't make everybody happy, and it's hard enough to make yourself happy. So
exactly,
do your best.
Exactly. I like that. Okay, now listen, I see we have a caller, so I'm going to take this call, 862-438, 862-438. I'm coming to you. Hey, darling, you're dishing tea with Big Meat. Hello, caller.
Well, I came to get a sip of my tea today.
Oh, well, get up out of here. Hey, baby.
Hi, how are you, sweetie?
Everything is moving in the right direction, honey. I'm 8 days before I'm 40, so yes, I'm lovely. What's going on?
Look who's turning 40.
Yes, honey. Say hello to Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. This is Ravy Rave. How are ya?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm on your website. I'm like, oh, my God.
Well, hopefully I'm not boring you to death, so...
No, you're not boring me.
Good.
If you were boring me, I'd have hung up.
You might have been calling in to say, "Hey, Meech, what's going on here? Move along." So no. That's
oh
great.
My goodness, now.
No.
So you're on the website for the movie itself, Kerberos Bites.
Exactly.
Yeah, good. There's so many talented people in town worked on this thing. I mean, I had a lot of people on my first film. Blood Ties came out, and they had little tiny roles, and they came out and they killed them. They went all out. And so when I wrote this movie, I was very determined to give all these great actors in town and crew people, but we had a very small crew, as you saw. But we have 54 speaking parts. I mean, these are showcase roles for, here in town, Robert Pralgo and. He's on Vampire Diaries, right? He's on Vampire Diaries.
Yes.
He's the mayor, and Mayor Lockwood. And, the young girl I found, nobody'd ever, maybe she played Zombie Girl number 3 or something, but she's amazing.
Okay, right.
She will be a star. She will be a star, Whitney Solons. And then Chris Burns, he was the guy that was going through the trauma of that. And then I brought a really... how the film festivals work. I met an actor who, in Los Angeles, at one of the festivals we won, named Stan Harrington. And, Stan is, he makes small films, and he wins tons of awards for the acting and the writing. And, he's got a book. He's known. And, he respected what I did. We didn't know each other. But I always remember him telling me, and he said, if you ever need a bad guy, I will kill it for you. And so when I wrote this movie, I sent him the script. I called him and I said, Stan, I got this amazing part. It's a starring role. And he was like, I can't. He runs the Stella Adler Theater in Hollywood. Stella Adler,
get out. Okay.
Famous, he's the theater manager of the whole Stella Adler, one of the most famous.
I didn't know that, yeah.
Studios of the world. And, that's Pacino and De Niro and all those guys.
Right.
So he called me. He said, Kelly, I can't do this story. I can't close up work. And I said, well, just read the script. And he called me back about an hour later and said, anything you want, dude, anything you want. So I had him on here and playing. I brought him in for a month. He almost lost his job. He just brought it every single day, and everybody did. Ted Huckabee. He's awesome. In so many ways. And there's so many good actors in this movie. My buddy I mentioned earlier, Glacier, Ray Lloyd. Ray, he was on Burn Notice last year. He's
yes.
Ray is going to be that WCW guy that can actually act. And, you don't see that. You see the guy
exactly.
Before, and 280 pounds of muscle, and you go, hey, I want him in my movie. But Ray is that guy who is 6'4" and 260, 270, and the guy can fucking act. So that, he'll make it. He'll make it. He's got a presence on screen, and so for me, it's just so amazing to work with all these people and really to push them beyond. I mean, poor Chris. I mean, Chris Burns. He's a hell of an actor. And, he read the script. He knew what was in the script for his part. It's a rape scene, and not there's nothing fun about it. And he knows me, how graphic I am, and how hard I.
Right.
Tough movie. So I mean, Chris was sweating this thing for a year, and the standard is American History X. I mean, you can't get you can't do better than that, and more moving and more powerful. So Chris knew that's wow. Kelly's. Oh, what's he going to make me do? And
right.
Those guys were just amazing. I mean, they were professional. It looks amazing on screen. I mean, it's a squirm in your seat moment. I mean, people are, oh my God, people are turning their heads. But like I said, at the end of it, you go, okay, now I understand this character. And
okay.
So that's what it's there for,
Exactly. Someone in the chat room says art is very personal. 100%. So, yes, when you get into it, it becomes your baby. Now, being as personal as it is and wanting it to come to life, being in this industry of independent films, what was your struggle of getting funding?
I got extremely lucky on this project. A man here in town who is considered one of the quote unquote internet marketing gurus of the world. Brad Fallon, his name's Brad Fallon, and we met through some other projects, small things, and he knew that hey, I make films, and it came down to I had some people in LA looking at this script. And they actually wanted me to wait. They flipped out over the story. I had like three different groups, and two of them were very serious about it. Mm-hmm. And they wanted me to hold off and do this movie in Los Angeles with, some A-list actors. People like Elias Koteas and.
Oh God.
They were throwing out a lot of names. And they were like,
right.
That we can get, and this is, let's do the movie for $7 to $10 million. And let's do it right. And like I said, I'm new at this. This is my second film.
Uh-huh.
So it's not that I'm bashful, but at the same time, like I told you also, I wrote all these parts with all these friends in mind that the parts in my mind were tailor-made for those people.
Right.
And it was really hard for me to imagine other people stepping in and doing a better job. And I'm like, at this stage where I'm still new at being a filmmaker, being the director, the guy in charge, and I mean, I'm in charge. I mean, people will tell you. I'm like on every nail and every, your shoelace should be tied like this. And I mean,
I know. Oh, God.
I know.
And you could be anal.
But that's what puts the details in the movie.
Exactly.
I said it at this stage where I'm still learning my craft, and hopefully I'll learn on every movie, but hopefully I can, learn without that extra pressure of you're trying to satisfy the investor, you're trying to do all this other stuff. And so I got really lucky. Brad knew that I was on the verge of, jumping on a plane basically and going to Los Angeles and making the deals. And he basically, I always remember, he's just like, I thought we were going to make a movie. And I said, sure. It's like whoever goes first. And so he wrote a check right there,
Oh, wow. Okay,
I was in production, a week later, basically.
I would dig that.
So, yeah, it was amazing. And, just I mean, I know I run out of time. I talk so much. But, a movie like this, I mean, I think people are going to be hopefully not just surprised, but in some ways even stunned. I mean, you got 50 people tearing up the acting, doing a kick-ass job. You don't see that on a no-budget movie.
Exactly. Say that one more again.
Because
yes.
on a no-budget film, and Stan is this way too. I think it's why Stan, jumped on a plane and came here right away and played in the movie because of the writing. And, it's about story is number one. Story. Number two is the quality of the acting. On no-budget movies, your story, generally, you might have issues. If the story is great, you have no money, probably you might have problems with the acting,
Right, exactly. Oh, God, yes.
And then technically, you can make a movie like Blair Witch or something where the camera's jumping around and shaking and stuff, and you go, well, I guess that's what he was trying to do. And,
right.
And you can embrace it and forgive it. But on a no-budget movie, you end up with a lot of sound issues.
Exactly.
On no budget.
That's it. Yeah.
Go to Film Fest and things like that. And I got
sound and shadows, honey. Yes.
So we got lucky. We won a film festival in England called End of the Pier, and
oh, wonderful.
And I met a BAFTA-winning sound engineer who just loved what I did, and hey, friendship is made. If somebody loves you that much, you're like, okay, you're my new best friend. And
right.
So he actually arranged, Rob James, for me to come to like one of the most famous studios of the world. They charged me a fraction of what they would have normally charged just to do my sound. This is where they did Elizabeth and The Crying Game and
oh, wow.
And Derailed and Proof and Shakespeare in Love. This is where, and they didn't give me the interns, they gave me the director of the facility.
Get out of here.
So another BAFTA winning, the BAFTA is kind of like the Oscar or the Emmy, but, the And so we worked for 2 weeks to really try to fix my sound. And then we ended up with amazing music. I have a good composer in England, Russ Johnson. And I had this amazing girl. If you look at some of the clips, look at the titles and song by Katie J. Katie J is just, to me, is amazing talent. And she's in Los Angeles and San Francisco. But, she has this very melancholy, poignant, kind of a Melissa Etheridge, Chrissy Hines kind of thing going on.
Oh, dig it.
And, she's awesome. But then this band contacted me. This guy, Alex, contacts me from Australia on Facebook or whatever, power of the internet, and says,
okay.
Oh, I'm a huge fan. Is this Kely McClung? And I'm like, yeah. And so he starts rattling off these movies that I've been in, and I'm like, dude, no one's ever even heard of that movie. No one's ever seen it. No way. It's impossible. And then he was having his girlfriend call, send me messages, all of them, and they were like, no, we're big fans. And so I'm like, well, what do you guys do, And he's like, no, I'm in a band. I play sax. And I'm like, send me the music, man. Just send me. And I'm thinking it's going to suck, I'm like.
Right.
I'll put it on a car driving by or on a radio.
Right.
And now he's got bragging rights. That'll be awesome. I get the song, and it just absolutely changed the entire feel of the movie.
Wow.
Because it was so hard. It's the music that's on the fight scene.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's delicious.
And then, so he turns me on. He goes, hey, I can get you some more bands. So I end up with like 5 bands from Australia. And, the one that's on the trailer is called Fast Track. Those guys have been begging me, please.
Oh, wow.
Show us something of the movie. Show us something. I'm like, I got a surprise for you guys. I got it coming, And so those guys are so awesome. And they're on the, they're tearing up. They're in Melbourne, Australia. So they're just tearing it up. And then locally, we picked up a couple bands here, too. This one band, some of them are still in high school.
Get out.
And Dawn is Broken is the name of the band. Dawn is Broken. And I really showcase one of their songs. And when I watch it, I'm like, it would be impossible not to have them on there. It's the perfect song. And then I just love this. We have a big action scene, and I basically am playing a Christmas song from Gwen Hughes. She's doing What Child Is This? And her version is amazing. very jazz version.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that song years ago from her, and it's a beautiful, it's a Christmas song. And the second I heard it, like, man, that would be awesome on an action scene. Everybody shooting and blah 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 blah. What child is it?
Right.
And so she gave me that song, and it's stunning. And then another local group, Uncle Daddy and the Kissin' Cousins, because
I heard of them.
They are just whacked. They're awesome. They're crazy.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah.
And I loved the song. I've seen them in performance. I love them. I mean, you walk out with a smile on your face every minute, And so to go to Twickenham, London, and mix my movie with all those songs, and I mean, this movie in a lot of ways it's a huge education, of course, but I think a lot of people are going to be more than surprised. They're going to be stunned. I mean, there's so many good people helping me out and making this possible. I mean, even though you do everything. So, hey, I'm the writer, I'm the director, I'm doing the makeup, I pick the wardrobe, I'm doing the fighting. You don't make a movie by yourself.
Right. That's true.
There are dozens and dozens of people who gave me everything they got to make this movie. And I'm indebted for all my life to them, I mean, this movie is, at this minute, this is the step to the next movie. So this movie is important. And, I mean, those people are just amazing. So my hat's off to all those people. And when people come, they're going to be, even those people, so funny, like you.
Okay.
I have a guess. I would guess that when you saw all that and you go, well, it's this one guy beating the shit out of everybody, and there's one little camera, and they got a couple lights, and he's using flashlights and all sorts of shit. I mean,
right.
It was a fun day, no worries. And then when you see it, I'm gonna guess that you went, holy shit, he made this. I mean, I was there. It didn't look like
exactly
this.
Right. I said the same thing when I watched the trailer. That's exactly. I was like, damn, this is wow. Exactly.
And, I have we've had one review so far, and that guy loves it too. So he's my new best friend.
Okay, right. Okay.
On Media Stores, called Media Stores, and he loves that review. I mean, he loves this movie, and he writes mainstream and independent, and we have another review coming up in about a week. I mean, the movie's not out yet; it's never been seen. So, for these guys to be writing this review, I sent it to them directly, and.
Right.
People are flipping out. But there's another great site for film called Film Snobbery. And this guy's, he called me. When I put the trailer up, he called me and said, hey, I didn't want you to think I forgot you. I like the movie, blah, blah, blah. It's not perfect. I love it, but whatever. And I'll write you an honest review. And so I'm like, that's the only thing I can ask for, man. So,
exactly.
We're looking forward to that and try to hit some of the bigger, you try to get recognition. I mean, everybody in the world, the biggest motivator is you want appreciation. That's why people do things. They want appreciation
and love, appreciation and love and recognition, honey.
That's
okay. That's what it is.
So the movie will get some recognition. I think. Some of the bigger festivals I've entered, starting with the big guys, and I can always work my way down. I know I will screen at the National Film Festival. I'm invited to screen there, and I know I will. I'll take advantage of it, and, hopefully Dell gets blown away to see the progression from my first movie to this one. And we want to show off as many people that worked in it so people can see their work. I mean, I get some of the credit because I'm the director, but when people stop and get past that, they're going to see all these amazing people time after time doing just all this cool work. And, so right now there's some clips online. There's a lot of blog posts. I let all my crew or any of the actors, you're welcome to as well. You can write a blog and we'll post it under crew blogs. And I invite anybody, and it's uncensored. You can write whatever you want. This guy sucks. What a fucking nut. And blah blah blah. He's so easy, Or you can write whatever you want, And
good.
Yeah. I'll give you that link later on. So.
Yeah, because I could get very delicious. I could get very delicious.
There's tons of photos. I mean, I'm trying. They're not photos of me. There's tons of photos of all my good actors, and
Right.
Just the people working on the movie, and I've got more movies ready to go. I'm starting to move along, and hopefully, I know I'll go back to London again and work at Twickenham again, and I know that some of these actors I'll use again and again, and
exactly
relationships, and Stan Harrington, he's doing a movie called Creed, and it's kind of a cool movie, and he called me like a week ago and said, listen, I'm getting ready to direct my final big giant scene of the movie. Will you fly out here and do it for me? And I'm like, hell yeah, man. Just the invite to do that, fantastic, and so it's about building that groundwork and letting people know what you do, and people like you let me talk for an hour and
right.
let people know what I'm doing. I mean, it's more important than you can imagine. I mean, or maybe you can't imagine, but it means a lot. It means a lot.
Well, cool beans. Ravy, you still there?
I'm still here, sweetie.
Okay, darling. You said you got a question?
Yes, I have a question. I wanted to follow up on the financing aspect of it with Kely, because I know that working with independent movie filmmakers, when you get financing, a lot of the people that finance want to really get their fingers in the pot and mess up the movie. How did you manage to maintain the integrity of your movie but still get the financing?
Like I said, I mean, I got lucky, and I got lucky in a lot of ways with Brad. And on some levels, I wish he had been there even more. But he basically, I mean, I had a budget. I mean, it's not out of control or something like that. And it's a small budget. This is a micro budget. I think people would be shocked if they knew how small it was. But it doesn't look small. I mean, people think we're spending millions. And Brad was just unbelievable. I mean, he never questioned anything I wanted to do, and he did agree with everything. I know there's part of the story he doesn't understand. There's some of the violence he thought I could tone down or whatever. And he was like, you do your thing. And so in this circumstance, I got extremely lucky. My first film, my partner was Rob Prago, Blood Ties, and Rob was used to me just bullying my way and getting my way on everything, and but I stepped up and did the work, and between us, we came up with a heck of a movie, and we'll still get that movie out. It's not on the shelves yet, but we'll probably piggyback it off of this one because this is a bigger movie, and but I personally got really lucky, and so it's hard for me to. I would say the one thing is, I was never on the fence about anything. As a director and somebody who has a very, very precise, clear vision, I know exactly what I want. Now, I'm open to hear other suggestions. It can be a little kid on the street walk by and go, well, why don't you do this? And you go, damn, I don't know. That's a good idea. And you got to be open to take that idea. But like working with the guys in London, they were like, I mean, we work with the biggest directors of the world, and we're not used to. I think it threw them off a little bit to see the guy who's in the movie. They're seeing my face on the screen. We're on a 35-foot screen in a multi-million-dollar facility all day, every day, and I think that threw them off a little bit. But they're like to be that detailed. So I think on financing and things, I think that would be part of it, just to really have your plan, really have the details that you're not, what should we do, or what could we do, or how can we do this? And, the great thing is people who have money are usually too busy on one level to be concerned with you. They're like, hey, that's your project. You go do it, and let me know how it comes out, and we'll get to it, I mean, Brad's great, but he just really let me go, and so, but I would think, I mean, I have worked in other situations. I haven't been the director on those other projects, but I've been a producer, and I've worked with some other stuff, and
right.
A lot of times you're fishing, and you're trying to fumble with it and find it on the set, or you're trying to figure it out, and I don't think you can do that. I think you have to be very clear on what you're trying to accomplish, at every moment, not just for the movie, but for
exactly.
every moment. What is
exactly.
and how can we get it done? And if you do
All
that,
right.
people are going to respect it, I think. So that's it.
Yeah, because they know the integrity of it. So
Right.
as long as you keep your integrity, yeah, they will respect it. Well, now we're winding down to the last 2 minutes of this. What can we expect from Kely McClung in the near future? Is Kerberos ready for DVD? You know, is it coming to a theater near me soon? You know, what are we looking for?
Well, for this movie, you know, we'll try to start it with the festival circuit. You know, I've entered some of the biggest ones of the world, you know. I mean, I would dream that I could get in, you know, somewhere like Cannes or something, and you know, I submitted it. I'm like, what the hell? They like Tarantino, they might like me. So we'll give it its chance. You know, it's entered in a couple bigger ones, and then, you know, meanwhile, I'm on to some other projects that I'm starting to put together. A movie that I think of, something like Seven, but told in a different way, an allegorical thriller called Altered. And I have another story I might shoot locally that's almost like it does deal with a boxer, but that's the small part of it. It's almost like a Field of Dreams kind of, think Field of Dreams mixed with Monsters Ball. That's my movie.
Oh.
And so I have that project that I'm looking for locations and starting to look at casting, and then I have a very hardcore movie I want to do that means a lot to me. That's action that I might shoot in Thailand and Germany and Australia, and that deals with.
Oh well, I've got to send my passport application in this week.
You do. And that movie deals with child prostitution and sexual slavery.
Wonderful.
And so, you know, it'll be very graphic and brutal, and people will think I'm exploitive, but hopefully it'll draw attention to this problem, and people will go.
Exactly, because it needs to be addressed.
You know? It does.
God, that needs to be addressed.
It's horrible. You know, we have our natural disasters, and they're horrific, and meanwhile,
right, we're still exporting the children
and doing everything else that we do, you know, as humans, and so I want to find stories that show people surviving that and conquering that, and, you know, trying to find meaning within all this madness. And it doesn't have to be that extreme to be madness. I mean, madness can be, hey, you have a job, you just hate your job. That still can be.
Okay. Which is 95% of the people.
I love my work. I mean, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Nobody knows me yet. No one's ever heard of me. No one's heard of my movies. But I'm the luckiest guy. I mean, I'm making movies and doing exactly what I want to do.
Exactly. See, that's yeah, I know that feeling. And we're going to close on that. That's a perfect way to close. Thank you, Kely.
Oh, thank you so much, man.
Oh, thank you so much for coming in and dishing your tea and letting the folks know what's going on. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go to fucksome.com and get all of the links there. I love that. That's going to be my new thing. fuckzm.com. I think I'm going to have to put a page up on there. And all of the links are going to be there to see all of the trailers, all of Kely's information. You get to see his, it's going to link you to everything about him.
Everything.
So go there and enjoy it. I'm telling you. Now, y'all know how I am, honey. I don't boast just to be boasting because, you know, things have to move me. And y'all know when I say, oh, okay. But no, this here, God, I have to tell you, looking at this, you're not going to believe if I had not. I think I put it up on the YouTube page. If I had not been there on the set myself, I would not have believed that this was done as it was going to look the way that it looked. I would not have believed it. But this looks fucking incredible, and I can't wait to see the whole film now because I'm ready. I'm so ready. Folks are asking in the chat room, when is it coming out? Do you know when you're going to be ready?
No, we'll try to do a local premiere here soon. You know, I have to be a little bit careful about that because some of the big festivals, they want you to have premiere status. And
Right.
So many people locally. I think we can put 400 or 500 people in a theater. I mean, literally, I really.
Oh,
do.
lovely! I know you
we got
can.
100 people in the movie, so if they all bring 2 friends, that's 300 already. So.
How about it? See there?
I think we'll do real well.
Now you tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends. Okay. All right. Thanks, Kely.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much, honey.
And thank you.
All right, I'll be talking with you soon.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Mr. Kely McClung. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, I'm about to do something that is going to be revolutionary, I believe. And that is, if you were on Facebook today, I put up on Facebook that I'm adding something today that was not in the previous call for the show. I just got an exclusive on the insides, or part of the insides, of the Sunday's Best auditions. My best friend, Yubi, my sister, went to the audition, the first one that they held for the season 3 showing that was there in Detroit. Now, I'm going to bring him in. Rebecca Jean, darling.
Hello.
Yubi? Hey, baby.
How you doing?
I want you to dish your tea, and I want you to take us through that process. And the reason why this is important is because I want the folks to understand. Now, you heard Kely going through his, about what it takes to be into the independent film industry and whatever. He did have some breaks. And, it was beautiful for him to this particular go-around to have an easier time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But here, you being a singer and looking to break into this business, tell us what that process was for you.
Well, like you know my history.
Yeah.
I've sang professional. I've done the audition circuit, all of that. It was more so that it was a Christian function than just a regular audition. That really disturbed me. Okay. It was like a regular audition, really. These people came in here, and they had a group, with the folk that was unknown, they had a line for them, and then the folk that had agents and managers, which surprised me right off the jump, they was in the VIP section. So they had separated. Right, at a gospel function.
VIP.
They had a separated from jump. Okay, these folk already in line before you. They in a whole different section of a line. And they going in first because they have appointments.
What?
This is a contest for the unknown, and you have people with agents and managers.
Okay.
All right. I've already set up this program for them. They are already on the list. They already going to sing. They already going to get in here to get this audition process started. And I'm thinking, if they already got it set up like that, they already got some bias for these people.
Okay.
So that was the beginning process. Okay. Now, we saw when these people came in, and at the most, they waited a half hour. We waited in line to get to the next room just to be seen for 3.5 hours on concrete floor. Okay.
Concrete standing.
Concrete floor. Now, it was getting more sickening and more sickening as the time went on because it was a lot of girls who came in looking like, the Christian girl, of course. But it was a lot of girls in there naked. Honey, they had on the mini skirts, the shorts, the bosoms hanging out, the little roundaway girl jewelry, makeup.
Not the roundaway girl. Shut up.
Makeup that you could see from the end of the line and they in the front. And then they got the little brothers sagging with the pants, child, trying to pick up these little girls that look like they should be on the corner. And this is a gospel function. You know,
wow.
I'm like, really? Do any of y'all really go to church, or do y'all even know what a church look like? Because y'all acting like y'all in the street. You know, I'm getting more and more discouraged as we go on.
Oh, you said as we go on, there's more?
Child. We finally get it.
Shit.
Finally, after the 3.5 hour wait, we get in, we sit down. And now groups are forming, you know. The children, just like a regular audition, trying to give you the intimidation factor. You know, the children over here singing, trying to express, you know, I'm more fabulous than you. But the backbiting, honey, about the singers, the way that they talked about each other at a Christian function was horrible. All this profanity, why you doing that crap? They don't sound good. I don't even know why they came here. It was ugly. Ugly. Okay. Going along that same line, child, it was a girl there. And I think I told you this. She couldn't have been no more than 25. Fabulous looking girl. She was with 3 older ladies. They was kind of dressed alike. All of them had on red. This girl started singing because it was a group of people that was doing choir songs, and they stopped. It stopped for like 15 minutes. It was like dead silence in there. This girl and these 3 older ladies broke through, honey. She was singing a song I ain't heard since I was probably 3 or 4. She wasn't even old enough to know this song. I ain't heard this song in years. Now, you know I'm 41.
Okay.
This girl singing this song under the true anointing. She was blessing my soul, honey. Folk around her was standing up looking at her, shouting everything. Why did that choir hear her up under the anointing and want to drown her out? Because they didn't want her to sing no more. Okay, hateful.
Lord have mercy.
Hateful. Now, going on, honey.
She said going on. Stop, you're killing me.
Can I say names? Okay.
You can say what you want to say, honey. Dish your tea.
Brother Kurt, honey, he came in. And I ain't even trying to blame this brother. Okay. Because, you know, we know his persona. You know, he's...
Right. You know, he's stomping everywhere. Yeah.
Right. But, y'all, they blocked off everything. They treated the folk there like they was crap, and they treated him like he was God walking in the room.
Wow.
It was quite sickening. It was quite sickening. Then the poses he was doing and all that, it was just a mess. But, y'all, what really, really upset me the most was they got the children going in. Now, you can hear these children, because, you know, everybody rehearsing, whatever. You know how auditions are. They trying to show you what they can do. They sharing with one another, this and that. Well, we listen to a lot of these folk individually singing. And, child, you know, I know a singer when I hear one. A singer. Some of these folk were immaculate. Okay. I would have gave them a contract if I had some money to give them one.
Wow.
Okay. They were going back there, child, and they were shooting them down. The ones that was mediocre that we heard, they was all coming out, and they made it. And the most sickly part of them all was they came out with golden tickets, just like American Idol. They never did that on Sunday Best. Why do we have to continue to be like the world? Why? I thought we were supposed to be the leaders. We were supposed to be the first.
Wow.
Why do Christians have to follow everything that the world does? Exactly, to the T. They never did this on Sunday Best. But on top of that, child, they brought these people out with these tickets. Okay. Stood them in the middle of the group, honey. Fully recording them on video and everything, child, and told them to sing the song, do all the runs, jump up and down, make it look churchy.
Shut up, they told them that?
Girl, please, yes.
Wait a minute, girl, wait a minute, wait. That's the part you didn't tell me. They told them that?
Child, make it look churchy.
Make it look churchy. Wait a minute. Raven in the tea room, she said, Lord have mercy, they hoeing for Jesus. Ow!
Okay, but child, the thing was, you could tell that most of those folks was there for the contract. There was nothing Christian. There was nothing godly. There was nothing spiritual about it. So you know I left. I didn't even audition. After standing
Wow.
for 3
Now, wait a
hours,
minute.
I couldn't even take it no more. I was like, I don't even want to be a part of this. This ain't got me.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Give me that 11-pager, honey. Tell the children about the 11-pager.
Oh, child, it's contract. Because they give you the contract before you get in line. And, you're to read the whole thing before you sign it and all of this and that. Child, there were so many clauses and so many here-tos and therefores and all this and that. There's also parts in there that tell you, like, if you move on to the next section, you may be responsible for some of your travel. Okay, BET is not solely responsible for you being on this show. Okay.
BET is not solely responsible for you being on the show.
Okay. Also,
that is interesting, considering that this year they done did auditions over in damn Africa.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Well, go ahead.
On top of that, these folk came in with rehearsed songs, of course. You thinking, I'm going to sing this gospel song. This is something that I do well. They have a list.
Press pause. Wait a minute, press pause. Because I'm down to a minute on my timer here. Those of you who are listening via computer, in about 60 seconds or less, honey, it's going to stop streaming because I'm going to be out of time. However, we're going to continue this if you're listening by telephone, 347-205-9183. If you miss it, honey, everything is going to be in the archive, so you can go back to the archives and catch everything, okay? So we're going to keep going. Keep going, child. Keep going.
Child, they have a list of songs that you must choose from. Now, we know who the new judges are that's going to be on this show, right? One is McClung. One is Adams. And we know the sisters going to still be on there, honey. Okay, right. They have one of Yolanda Adams songs on there. The battle is not yours. Okay. One of Donnie McClurkin's We Fall Down. And one of the sisters. The one about crying, honey. What's the name of that song?
Oh, yeah.
That one.
Yeah, those that one. I can't think of it, but yeah.
From the artist that's going to be judging. Okay. The rest of them are old hymns. Most of those kids didn't even know those hymns. Okay, some of them I didn't know, and I'm 41, and I grew up in the Baptist church. Okay. And the ones I did know were not fabulous songs you would want to sing.
Okay, period. You didn't want to sing them then.
Right.
Okay, you talking about at an audition.
Right.
Really?
You picking a song for me after I get here. Not only that, you have 20 minutes to impress the judge. 20 seconds, excuse me.
20 seconds.
The judges. So you better start at the peak of the song. Okay. And after that, they put you in groups of 4. You're going to be singing harmony with 3 people you don't know. Okay, you never rehearsed a song together. You don't know this person. Okay. I thought it was a bit much. But, child, when they gave them golden tickets, I was like, that's enough for me. Y'all just too much like the world and see. Ain't nothing godly in here. Ain't nothing.
He said, ain't nothing godly in here. Wow.
The way they was talking about one another and out trying to oversee the ones that's truly trying to do it for Jesus. And I'm like, really? Come on. Can't we love one another even here? Ain't nothing sacred. Y'all gonna block the only spirit that's in the room?
Oh. Shut it down.
Right.
No.
It was not an experience that I enjoyed. And I've been to several auditions. I've sang professionally before. So I know what to look for, but not in this particular setting. It was very upsetting for me. Very
wow.
upsetting.
That speaks volumes for me. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Ravy want to come back in. Ravy want to come back in. Come in, Ravy. Ravy, Rave, girl. She said she want to comment. Ravy, go, girl.
I especially about Sister Kirk Franklin. First of all, I am not a liar. Let me put that out there, and this does not reflect.
She said what now?
This does not reflect Dish and Tea with Big Meech. This is all on Ravy Rave, and it's the Ravy Rave thing. And if Kirk Franklin, Sister Franklin, has a problem, he can always contact me. Okay?
All right.
I have, I have a young boy that needs a heart transplant.
Okay.
And the parents contacted Sister Franklin. Sister Franklin gives him to some other guy that's supposed to be his assistant or whatever. Please tell me why Sister Franklin's assistant was sitting there sending me to his MySpace page because he's trying to get a record deal.
What?
A record deal. You're supposed to be calling me to talk to me about setting up a fundraiser with Kirk Franklin, to sit back and raise money for this young 13-year-old honor student, to receive a heart. And you're sending me to your MySpace page, and I'm here to tell you, I forgot the name of the other gentleman. I didn't catch his name. But there are devils in the church than there are in the strip club, and that is a fact.
If you don't shut up, okay, see, y'all gonna take this into a whole nother show. Ow!
Okay.
It is.
No, honey, no. You
have
just
a new
do not
gimmick.
understand.
Have a new gimmick.
Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
They have a new gimmick now. If you say gospel, because there are people that are trying to serve God, that, do have the anointing on them that want to praise God, they will sit there and they will always drown you out. They will always sit there and backbite because first and foremost, when the anointing hit that young girl, they were upset because they knew God was touching that girl's vocal cords, whereas that they were sitting there trying to stretch their vocal cords. That girl didn't have to stretch because the anointing was her voice, and they didn't want it. They didn't want it to be heard.
And I'm serious. I'm serious that it was a hush in the room. I mean, it was so quiet, like it was a setting that God was setting up. Okay, I got to bring my people back. That's what I felt. This young lady was truly singing under the anointing. I mean, it was so powerful that she looked like she was glowing. I'm serious. It was so powerful. And right when she got to the peak, they started singing and drowning her out. And I'm like, really? Y'all gonna kill the only true spirit that's in this room right now? Really?
Exactly. And it's a shame because the black church now has become a joke because the people in there, all they did was take their club clothes and put on church clothes, but they never changed their attitude.
Right.
Oh, not the club. Well, hell, the kids, listen, I was so embarrassed one time because I stepped up in the church directly from the club one time, and I had on my sunshine yellow, okay, and I didn't have time to go home, and this was sprung on me at the last minute. Oh, we're going to get up and go to church in the morning. Now, we got home at 3. Service started at 10. So I had enough time to at least wash out the alcohol smell out the clothes.
Right.
Okay. And walked up in there in my club clothes. And then when I walked in there, I ran into everybody I just left. So I felt like I was right at home. I said, oh, well, shit, fuck it. Okay.
Right. Ain't that a shame? No, that's a shame. Okay, let's go party. Now, I'm not saying that, we are all sinners and we come short of God's glory, okay? And we all need some saving grace. Okay. But,
I'm from the
come
same
on
area.
now.
And I'm 41, and Meech is about to join the 40 Club in 8 days.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
One thing that we did is we always revered the church. You don't go into God's house playing no mess.
No.
Right.
And I'll do it.
And that's why I'm having. Go ahead.
I'll do it outside the church, but I'm not going to take my mess in God's house.
Right.
You know, and that's why I'm having a problem. This is why I wanted Yui to come on and talk about this audition process, because, see, this coming Saturday, they're going to be in New Orleans, and then next week, Saturday, I think they're going to Philadelphia. And there's still opportunities here where folks are going to go traveling, you know, looking to be heard. Those who are the real singers or whatever, who's looking for an opportunity to go into this particular business, don't understand the business. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because they get caught up. Yeah, we want to sing for the Lord, and it's cute to be in these little gospel choirs and, you know, and this, that, and the other. But this is a business. And the business, there's nothing godly about it. From what this child just described, when he first told me that, I told him immediately, you're going to have to come on the show and talk about it, because this is the stuff we don't hear. All we see.
But child, this is what I'm saying. Okay, yes, I'm quite aware. It is a business. But this is God's business. Can we handle it a little different than the world?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Can it be holy somewhere? Because it's not.
The devil is the god of music. So,
right. I got to go with that. There you go.
And the thing is that people have to understand, and I'm applauding you. I still didn't get your name, but I'm applauding you, and I'm applauding Big Meech for putting this out there, because people think that just because it's under the label gospel, that it's gospel, and it's not.
It's not.
That's some of those gospel producers that haven't been in the church since the church was built.
And I'm serious. Some of them, that's what I got from them. Have you ever been to church, period? Ever? Okay. Because it was that apparent that some of those folks didn't know nothing about God or Jesus, honey. It's just like, okay, we here because they said they was handing out contracts, so let's see if we can get one.
Wow.
How do you go to a gospel audition wearing booty shorts?
Right. Now, on BET's behalf, I will say the reason why they came up, because I was told this was the first year that they actually had a set list of songs, okay? So on their behalf, I must applaud them for this. They came up with this rule because folk was actually coming to the audition singing inappropriate songs.
Jesus.
Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. That sounded kind of weird on my end. I don't know if it's the signal or if it's your phone. That all came out very computer graphic like.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, yeah. You're skipping and bumping and twerping, and yeah, you sounding like you on auto tunes.
Well, child, I'm on the regular phone, so the devil don't.
So I think it might be my switchboard playing games with me. So what I'm going to do, let me just pause right there, because I want to make sure that we've said enough on here to where folks understand when you're going into this is still show business. This is the business of show, which means that these folks are not going to come up in here at you the way you see fit. For those of you looking to go to these different auditions and going to these kinds of events with the understanding that you think it's going to be done a little bit differently. That's why I had you come on the show to tell you, no, this particular gig is just what it is. It is a gig with just God or Jesus or whatever just thrown on it. They just call it gospel, but from all of this, the way that it sounds, this here is just another capitalistic organization that's looking to make money off of your buffoonery.
Exactly.
So, and I said that. So now, whoever, this is not a slam. I like the concept of the show and this, that, and the other. But when you go into the audition, understand what you're finna get into. So on that note, my children, thank you guys for calling in. I'm going to encourage everyone to stay tuned. As you all know, yes, I am 8 days away from turning 40. So next week starts birthday celebration on the air. Now, y'all know I take the entire month. My official birthday is March 4th. The celebration kickoff starts February 28th, and I will be in celebration mode until April 2nd. So joining me for my birthday kickoff on the air next week will be the legendary Miss Sarah Dash of the first female rock group, La Belle. Sarah will be joining us next week, and as you can see, I'm getting all giddy and shit, so, baby, we finna get ready to do it. So with that in mind, my darlings, I thank you all for your love and your support for Dishing Tea with Big Meech. So I encourage you to come and join me throughout the month of March as I celebrate turning 40. If you love me, tell a friend. If you hate me, tell an enemy. But do know this, one way or the other, this will go forth, honey. So with that in mind, I thank you all. If you got any questions, comments, or concerns, please send them all to dishingtea@gmail.com. Dishing T-E-A with Big Meech @gmail.com. Until next week, my darlings, I will talk to you again real soon. Ciao.